you will be lying on your mat, and through my guidance, you will try to direct your breath into different body parts. So of course you breathe in, like in and out comfortably, nose or mouth. I don't really worry much, I don't care. But then when I will be mentioning a particular body part, just try to imagine how your breath can be directed to your shoulder, to your elbow, to your wrist, to your fingers, to different parts. And let's try to agree of giving three to four inhales, exhales to a particular body part on my guidance. And you try to feel, is it warming up a little bit? Is it feeling like some levity and you want to move it a little bit? Or you just feel like it's expanding and you just want to replace it a little bit wider? Or maybe you want to make a little move or just some adjustment in the joints. It's fine with you, just observation, how your breath directed, addressed to a particular body part. Yes? Let's begin. Lie on your back. You will hear me. I'll do my best talking. You don't need to see me. It's just your personal warming up and getting more familiar how body parts can be identified and your breath can be directed there. So let's start with focusing on our belly and directing our inhale into the belly, and when exhaling, feeling the reduction of space. And when you're inhaling, you might feel the widening on a side. And as you're exhaling, you softening it. And excuse, I'll just give a quick briefing to Wendy. Wendy, we're having mats, we're on the floor, and we're just doing a breathing exercise. With my guidance, you direct your attention and your breath to a particular body part. And we just started, and we go with our belly and try to think low belly. So when you're inhaling, and exhaling to the area below your belly button, you can feel that it's bubbling up and then reducing, softening, falling down to the floor. And just give it one more inhale to the low belly. Let's send our attention to our right shoulder. And as we're inhaling, we're thinking that the breath goes into the shoulder, giving some air, creating some air between the joints, giving us a sense of flow, sense of expansion inside. Feeling how your armpit space is breathing a little bit, like a little wings. And then slowly sending your inhalation towards your right elbow, feeling how it's just getting a little wider from inside. Feeling that it's softening, the muscle tone softening when you're sending all the inhale towards your elbow. You might feel that you want to replace your elbow just a little bit wider away from your torso if you're inhaling and you feel like it's getting full of flow. And let's go down with our attention to the right wrist. And when you're inhaling, like some force, giving buoyancy to your wrist, and it feels inflated, feels fuller, softer. And one more into your wrist. Just do one more and feel how inhaling into the wrist, separating it from your knuckles, from your fingers, that they are still on the floor while the wrist can be moved away from your fingertips. And now let's think of inhalation goes into your fingers, into the fingers on the right arm. You feel each of them, thumb, index, middle, pinky, how they, you might feel that flow of the breath through them, creating a palette, something of a rainbow or a little sparkly, like a little sprinkles in the sunlight. When it's inhaling, your fingers just sparkly and flowing and passing the flow through. Or you can think that they are contained, and when you're inhaling, it's like they're getting full, like they're about to blow from inside because so much breath goes into. And gently switching attention to the left shoulder, recognizing that with inhalation it can go heavier, for example, and or give up to gravity even more. Or you can connect it more to exhale, that there is no extra space and the bone is falling, the joint is falling. When you're inhaling, try to recognize how the shoulder, left shoulder, can be allowed to move away from your sternum, away from your spine, widening, feeling wider, and exhaling. Sending your attention down through your biceps to your elbow, inhaling into left elbow, trying to feel the link from the biceps to the forearm, how breathing into the elbow creates a certain kind of pool between the proximal bone and the distal bone. And on exhale, it feels like emptiness and softness. And one more into the left elbow. And going down, inhale into the left wrist. Feel the awareness, feel the width. Think that as you're inhaling, it's getting wider. And you can think that all the channel, all the ligaments to your fingers, they kind of spreading, they feel more oily, more airy, more spacious inside. And exhale, and one more. And go down, think of you inhaling in between your knuckles. So the space between your knuckles is widening up, like if it would be some cyborg hand, you will be detaching each finger and oiling it and washing it and then putting it back together. And then inhale into your fingers. Feel the very last phalanx of your fingers sensitive, and you can send the inhale all the way to your fingernails and past. And feel just one more, like extra space for your thumb, how it can open and be bigger and wider and fuller. And let's send our inhale to the collarbones. And you're thinking of this T shape between your sternum and collarbones, and how upon your inhale, the T, the top of your T widening, and the sternum, like these three segments, they moving away from one another. And that your ribs attached to the sternum is kind of about to be detached from the sternum when you inhaling wide and big and juicy, and let them soften, and let your solar plexus fall down deep inside, and maybe heat it up on inhale and bring it light and warm to the sun. And as you're exhaling, let it soften, close, get quiet and moist and deep down towards the floor. A few more. Send your attention down to your pelvis and think that you are, with your inhalation, you opening and widening your pelvic floor, and the space from your pubic bone towards your hip joints, it's widening. So you feel like somebody inflating you to the sides, that your Any compression you had, you can play with it and you can feel width in your pelvis, and then upon exhale, it's just stay long and spacious and empty, ready to be filled with movement. Yeah, so feel the groin areas, how you can soften them, and visualize a little inverted rotation, like if somebody would be placing your arm on the top of your butt and like pulling it away from the coccyx, spreading them sideways so you're lying on a more smooth, wide open base of your glutes. Okay, getting down through the hip joint, right leg, breathe into the muscle. Feel that your quads are strong, but with the inhale, you can give all the oxygen to your muscle, and it will be ready to articulate the movement, will be ready to follow your intention, and then soften and let it rest around your bone. And then inhale into your right knee and feel that the space between the tiny bones is widening. It's getting juicier, getting like a fruit on the tree. With your inhalation, it's getting bigger, juicier, sweeter. And upon exhaling, just leave the space you created open. Let the gravity help you with extension. Going down to your ankle area. And as you're inhaling, you can feel that this breath is softening, warming, separating your foot from your shin bone, and the ball of your ankle in the middle is warming up, oiling, getting thicker. Inhaling to your ankle. Good. And going just a little down, same as we did with the arm, with the wrist. Think of the knuckles of your toes and how you can spread. Think that inhaling and feeling the flow through the muscles on the bottom of on the sole of your foot, like you're sending some gentle waves of like a simple flow down there, and it's rolling back to you with exhale. And again, inhaling, sending the wave down through the leg towards your arch, and let this wave roll back to the shore. And one more. Good. And try to feel your toes, just a little mobility, a little flow in them. And switching to the left leg, thinking of the quads, of the muscle, breathing into the muscle. Think that you're pumping this oxygen, this nice oxygenated blood into the muscle, and exhaling and breathing into the muscle and exhaling, gently going down towards your knee joint and inhaling into your knee. Exhaling, feeling the side of the knee, feeling the back surface of the knee, that it's gently opening. You're not pressing it, but it just stays soft. And down towards your ankle, breathing, feeling mobility, softness, feeling the flow. Inhale into your left ankle. Exhale, and feel the warmth, feel the opening within the joint. And exhale, and just send a little wave down to your arch, towards the knuckles of your toes, and allow the wave to get back to your pelvis with exhale. And roll this wave back as you exhaling. Inhaling all the way to your toenails. And exhaling. And gently sending your attention to your spine. Think that it's a little link chain and that each chain is a little bit compressed. So once you're inhaling, you can allow a little extension between every vertebra. And then upon exhale, you just let your gravity keep you as tall and long as you can be. And again, you're inhaling into your spine. And as you're exhaling, just leaving the parts hanging down, lying down, if you feel that they're extended upon inhale. On exhale, just focus on the gravity and heaviness in your coccyx, in the back of your head. And let's just get a little bit to the attachment in our neck to our skull. So this little spots right under your ears. If you'll inhale into the side of your neck, into this connection, and exhale. Wonderful. And good. I think we can just do a few more, focusing on your facial expression, how you inhale into the into your face, what it will do. Yeah, think the space behind your eyes, you can breathe into it. Feel that you're creating a little soft pillows for your eyeballs to rest, and then soften your jawline. And then just let's do a little deep breath, deep inhale, and exhaling, and one more. Getting back from our little meditation, and slowly roll on your side. If your eyes was closed, just like in yoga class, just open them gently, see the floor on the side. Allow your gaze to slide down the floor. Gently get back to the room. Put your arms on the floor, just roll sideways. Yes, good. And gently find your way up without stressing yourself, without reducing any of this freedom we have. Good, good, good. Very nice. I think it was my first experience guiding the breath exercise. I think I did okay. Okay, we can stand up now. Because like the first step, the next step will be imagining our body as interconnected spaces of various shapes. So how the space of our lung and let's say the space of arm, how they have a certain channels in between, or the chest towards the neck, or the neck. So think of yourself like a little Michelin man, or a little doll made of a street artist from a balloon. Tick, 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 when they ringing the balloon, and they make a little toy, a puddle, a poodle or toy or something. So think that this little chunks of space, and our idea will be to open these channels. So if we'll start with a simple idea of opening the channel from your torso to your arm. So this will be a visualization of the armpit space, and how it's like you have a little thing, you opening, and the flow from your torso finding the way to your arm and goes further along. Just visualizing how this channel is opening, and now space and arm interconnected, and the flow can get back. Let's focus a little bit on two segments of the arm. How we opening the channel between our biceps and the forearm. So how this part is softening and allowing the flow to continue from the bicep. How we can visualize a little channel through the forearm to the wrist, that we can like feel the little tide, or we can send it and feel that these two segments They're now interconnected. There is no obstruction in between. Good. Now let's say, for example, from the torso to your neck. Let's do the opposite. Let's feel the stress here. And then if we're opening, how, let's say, the mobility in the chest area kind of felt naturally continued in our neck. So how some movement in the upper spine can be sent through the neck. He was doing a little playful, like a little waves. So you can focus on your throat area, how like a little, like a swallow. And when you're swallowing, you feel a little freedom. How from neck to the head, you can think of the space of your head and how you can open the flow from the chest through the neck space into your head. Then it can go back and forward and resting and there. Good. Let's go down. Let's imagine a little valve right here for your solar plexus. How from chest you can bring it to the belly. And let me see if I have a different shirt. No, I don't, because I know that the black one is not the most visual one. Okay, yes, from the chest to the belly, and feel that the belly mobile and can go a little bit here. So basically between this and the chest, your solar plexus is a little channel. You can play side, you can play back and forward, a little spirals. And let's explore a little bit how for your right hand, from your left, through the joint. Yes, the spaces are connected. Let's go down, let's say through the pelvis, if you send it and connect it to the leg, and we'll feel the freedom of moving. Let's just do a few, like sending it and visualizing how it can go through the leg, and then further through the joint, and then how I can, for example, connect the through the thigh down to my knee and out and back and forward. How we can visualize opening through from the shin towards your ankle. So the way how you might flex and point. So it might be a little up. We can do this on the floor. Yes, so we can feel that, let's say, pulling it flat like this and then rolling it forward gently, like a little contemporary thing. Here we go up, and then when we pulling, and then we do a little thing. Just feel the freedom in between your shin and your ankle. And if you want, you can like flex it, or if you're pointing, you still might feel the continuation from the pelvis. Let's do the same with another leg, from pelvis to the side, that this space is not blocked but open, and you can feel the freedom of sending the energy. Let's visualize from here, you can send it out, or you can suck it in, or send it there, or bring it in, or bring it in, or send it back into some movement. And the same as do with the knee. You can feel the flow for your knee in and out, and turn out, and here, and the little spiral from thigh to the shin, and in and out, and flex, and just okay, and go just a little more versatile, a little more variety. Let's feel that we're starting, let's say, in the arm and sending it into the chest and playing through the neck and head, and from head sending it down to the solar plexus, to the pelvis. We play with the pelvis a little bit, and then you think, okay, I want to send it into my leg, and then from the leg I'm sending it back to my head, and from the head I'm deciding to send it into some shoulder, and then into the wrist, and then from the wrist I can visualize how it's going right back into my belly. Just some, let's say, from arm to arm, from left to right. Here, do something and send it back into the. So some form of exchange can be push, pull, can be a little wave, can be, I don't know, like boom, boom, something like that. Can be press and pull, press and go. You can unite them in some circle, feel a little waves, all the freedom, good. And then let's send it to the pelvis, bring it back to the throat, head, throat, pelvis, a little circle in the pelvis, through the wave, solar plexus, throat, head, and the back of your head. Think of how the cat mother is, or like all the mammals, they carrying their puppies, like somebody can, and then let's just try to get up through this, like somebody holding the top of our neck, and then continue, and then let's see if we can fall down and send it to our knees and to our feet, and play a little bit with this mobility. Good. Let's do from the arm through the belly to the leg, from one leg to another, something. Okay. Just let's do one last thing, just a few more for your neck and for your throat. When you're moving it, rely on a soft joints, on your breathing pattern, consistency of your breathing, and play a little bit with hanging your head down, rolling one way, rolling back, other. Do a little like you rinsing a towel or something, like you let yourself be loose, and then when you're up, you're comfortable and opening your neck space, and yeah. And looking at fast and looking at, let's just play a little bit with the mobility in this area. So how we can feel that between, let's say, arm forward, and then your belly goes in, and you can feel the shoulder all the way out. And then if the shoulder, now arm is behind, somebody pressing into my back, I feel a stretch, and here. Yes, so a little mobility between your sternum and your shoulders, how it can go. Let's do a big round movements. Yes, one by one, together, back, together, forward. Okay, good, done. So idea of, yay. Yes, we need it. We're so regimented with my devotion to technique that we're losing a craziness. And I do have enough of it, but I think I'm just by nature very responsible. They're responsible, and we need to do this and that and that. And there are a bunch of situations when somebody doing crazy shit, some time ahead, but most of the time we was ahead. So it means doing responsible is is a proven way to, yes, to get to where you want to be. Next, we'll try to get to this playful part. It was already playful, but now let's say like this. I want us to, again, make the screens like we did on Saturday. So you see each of you in an equal screen. And let's say like this. We are attentive to one another. and I'm giving you the order because I don't know in which order you're on your screens. Jean, what's your last name? Vu, got it. So then it means Lynn, A, B, C, D, E, F, Wendy, you're first, L, Marilyn, you're second, right, well, Vu, so Debbie, you're third. So just Wendy, you would be following me. When I do something, okay, I'm sending message to you, you receiving it, and basically each of us sending message to the camera. We bring it back to the camera, and Marilyn, you receiving Wendy's message. And Deborah, you receiving Marilyn's message. And then when you getting closer to the screen, like we did a little play, and when you're sending it back to the camera, Jean receiving it. And Jean, yes, when you're receiving it, you're playing with it, and you're sending it back to me. Let me try here with Bess to show what I want it to look like. Feel that each body part can, whatever energy, so let's say flow, can be directed. Directed flow, certain impact, a certain energy flow. So the moment here, when you will be playing with your body, you now have a lot of ways to send the energy out through your body. It can be through the arm, the easiest one. It can be through opening. Think that it can be through your eyes, it can be through your chest, it can be through, I don't know, through your shoulder, it can be through your leg, it can be through your belly, but the code will be you play a little bit and then you get to the screen. So when you get to the screen, it will be your arm, so your partner receiving it, playing with it, doing whatever they want, crazy, and then sending it back with your hair, and then it means Jean, receiving it with your hair, do something, and sending it back with your butt, yes, with the leg, and then I receive it with my leg. So we just try to be attentive and be ready to receive the same way as our partner giving it to us. For example, Bess. We are here with Bess, and it's all experimentation. So if you would be just playing, like observing the flow of the energy, and at some point you would feel, I want to pass it. Yeah, so just made it a little more, I think I guess that you're passing, yeah. So I'm receiving it through my chest, and I can play with my hip, and I can send it to your arm, and you're taking it, and then you play, you can bring it down to your leg, to your head, and send it through your leg, and I'm playing, I can do whatever I want with it, oh, and then I will send it through my head, and Bess receiving it through her head, and playing, and this is a little bit of a thing we want to try. Yeah? There will be more details. So at this point, it's a little improvisation. But already you learn that there is a freedom, oiliness in your body, and you get rid of preoccupied thinking, I need to be this and that. So you see, you can be anything. So Bess starting, she giving it to me, and I'm giving it to Wendy. And Wendy, play with it. You don't have to get it back right away. Play, 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 and when you get back to the screen, you sending it to Marilyn. Marilyn, you're receiving it. You do whatever you want with it. Playing between your body parts, and then sending it to your camera, and they be receiving it. Yes, they be taking it. Oh, ooh, ooh, doing something, and then sending it back to Jean. Yeah? Yes. Okay, we already doing it, exactly. You see? Yes, Exactly, exactly. So, ready, let me just set the camera so you'll see Wes too and me, and I'm here. Wes, yes, your time, yes, I'm playing with your energy, good, and you're sending it at the time when you're sending, whoa, and I feel that I want to, hold it a little bit longer, until, where's my camera? I send it to Wendy, then it's yours, you receive it, and you play with it. Yes, it's yours. Take it, good, and very nice. That's it. Whatever you want to do with it, and you're sending it back. Yes, you pass your hip to Marilyn. Yes. Good. Yes. Twist and flexes. Good. And they be catching it. Ooh, playing with it. Yep, 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 yep. Wonderful. And good, good. And sending it to Jin. Is receiving it. Whew. Oh, slowly. Nice, 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 nice. Yoo-hoo-hoo. All the Tai Chi stuff. And I'm receiving it back. Boom, ba. And giving it back to rest. Good. I think we had a good time. And as much as we're observing, we are learning to look, learning to be ready to receive it. Of course, first time we probably just looking, but as we will repeat it a few more times, sometime later, we can be kind of on a, not mimicking exactly, but become sensitive to other person mobility and to the way how we're anticipating to receive it. Okay, so now we're getting to let's just do it one more time. And I want you to just feel different. So whatever you did, let's say you did a little bit about upper part. So now do about, I don't know, think that you have a moment of solo. You can be in your room, you can turn, you can take a little play with this flow, like scan your body. The toes, the belly, the elbows, the head, and then decide, I want to send it, whoa, through my belly, or whoa, I want to send it from my chest. Yeah, but just a little different from what you was doing. If Wendy, it was, yeah, a little, let's say, try to use your upper space and lower space a little bit, so it's just less of a letting, but exploration of mobility and yes. Okay, good, Wes, you're starting. So I'm here. I'm just need to remember where my camera is. Yes, right here. So this one I'm standing. Oh, yes, good. And we're looking at yes, good. Ooh. Ooh. Yes. Good. Yep. Yep. Good. Yes. 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 Moving. Listening connection. Yes. Ooh, some African tribal things. Good. Ah. Sending it. Yes, baby. Yes. Receiving it. Good. Received it. Sent by the pen. Good. 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 Baby, look at here. Yes. Nice. And Jean, yep. Yep, yep, yep. Good. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, we want to have fun. We want to give our body this. Good. Oh my God. Yes, yes, yes. Very good. So what's the most exciting thing? That you all have such a personal, unique vocabulary of stuff. Any of the stuff is good to be just to be available. So you get to your I know basic, and all of this is allowed, is I know permitted to be there. You even when you, let's say, Gene, I will refer to you. I think that in dancing you're not a beginner at all. You have a lot of dancing. If you consider yourself somewhat beginner in Latin dancing, it's not restricted to do like a educational video. And back basic, 2, 3, cha cha 1. It needed for the people who barely can stand. They need to be organized. So when they're just learning first step, they need some structure. But all of you have enough comfort going through the basic thing. On top of this comfort, you want to put layers of fun, layers of expression, and layers of your personal signature things, because none of the things you was doing now are standardized. They're all unique, your own. And very often I would put myself in the same category of people to blame. Very often as students are pushed to do what teacher is doing. And on some level of understanding mechanics, it's fair, it's needed. Your teacher is your guide. But then very often teachers are forgetting to say, okay, now go swim on your own. You know, you will not sink. So now it's your way to find out your best style of swimming. Go and find what you want to say with this movement. And this was very nice what you just did. And for me, it's a little revelation. Oh, this is what they actually can do. Not just like missing up on the straight knees, but be as impressive in a free stuff. So very good, very good. You see, yeah, also from how everyone is doing different. So now, Deborah, look what is here. Okay, it's good, it's working. I have all my notes here. And it's a gift from Deborah. This thing called Remarkable. It's like the closest to a notepad. It's super thin, and you can do all the notes and write comments and do a bunch of documents here, and it's super
and
cool.
Nikolay, you can attach that to your Zoom. It can be another square on your Zoom.
I think you were sending it to me, but being a young father, I barely have time. So it's expected in 2022, okay? Or when one of our babushkas will come, grandmoms, then maybe I'll just have a little time to yes, it will be there soon. So what's the next thing here on the list? We was already trying to talk a little bit about different dynamics, and I'll go through them quickly. So the way how we move, the way how our movement can be described in the aspect of speed, weight, space, and tension. So let's say when we're saying punch, so when we're saying the type of action, the type of dynamic punch, it's directed, there is a clear direction. It's spontaneous, so it's not sustained, it's quick. In the sense of tension, it is heavy, we're not punching with a soft arm. And then it's it's bound. So we have the energy structurized and direct. Let's say we're changing one aspect. Instead of sudden, we do sustain. And then the dynamic will be called press. So think between punch, directed, heavy, sudden, and bound. And press, there is one difference. The aspect of time, sudden or sustained. So if you're pressing, then it's direct, toned, bound, but slow, sustained. Yeah, punch. Then a few others. Floating. Floating is our image of a steam or a cloud, something which is indirect, light, sustained, so there is nothing spontaneous in the clouds, and light. So it's light, indirect, sustained. We're changing one quality, direction, and it becomes a glide. So glide, think of a frisbee. When you're throwing a frisbee, you can see how it's moving. And let's say this is applicable to ballroom people a lot when they moving their forks. 1, 2, whoa. Yeah. Or yes, when you see some like lady can do a ronde. So it's, or you can think, for example, of your spiral. So the moment when I get to spiral, I can visualize not necessarily the biggest line, but I can think of a more this gliding. Yeah, possible. So floating, soft, indirect, sustained, gliding, all the same, but directed. So if we say a little flicking, so flicking will be indirect, sustained, sudden, of course, sudden, boom, boom, something, flick, flick. So when we do something quick, light, so it's not bound, it's free. Like think of sudden, like somebody tickling you and like, that is, can be all over. And then if you're playing a piano, dabbing, so it's light, it's bound. So it's same as, what the difference between punch and dabbing? The difference is one, it's light. So it's direct, sustained. No, sorry, sudden. I'm mixing a few words. So dabbing is like playing piano. Ping, ping, ping. You don't go crazy. You don't crushing the keys. So this is some of the elements when we want to do, I know, cha-cha-cha, step, step, cha-cha, pa, 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 cha-cha, pa, pa, pa. So the hips, I can think of them as a little flicking, continuous squeaks, or if I go rhythmical, wa, pa, 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 I might decide to do maybe one punch. Wa, ta, tira, ta, wa, ta, tira, ta. So what will be the difference? I put more power, more weight. Boom, da, da, da. So flicking, dabbing, punching, floating, gliding. What else is there? Squeezing. Squeezing, it's like you, I know, you're giving a hug to someone, or you wringing the towel. So this will be the condition. Now, all of this, I want us to try same dynamic. This is a part I'm hoping will be the most fun. Let's choose one dynamic and let's travel with it through the body parts. Yeah. So what will be, let's say, a flicky hand, flicky fingers? What will be a flicky elbow? Same with the shoulder. How it's like go indirect and the little crazy shoulder. How it can be in the head. So how you can feel it in the chest, that it's just light and sudden and like a little tickling. Like I know some goosebumps, how you can feel it in your knees when they just like indirect, a little crazy, and one of them, toes, one toe, another toe, ankle, your pelvis, other shoulder, elbow, wrist, fingers, breath. So yeah, Madeline, flicking in the left knee. Yes, good, good, good. Wendy, in the right shoulder. Yes, yes, yes. Jean, in the left wrist. Yes. Okay, Debbie, in the head. Yes, 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 good. Yes, good. Okay, let's be gentle now. Let's think of a floating. We'll not necessarily we'll try all of them, but so how we can float, of course, the most obvious is through our hands. So let's float through our elbows, let them float, be continuous. And when we see clouds, they're moving without any direction. They can be moved by the wind, they can just expand, they can disappear. Now focus a little more on your wrists, how they can move in space, continuously floating. Let's get to our chest area, to our lungs, how they can float, how they can be indirect, light, sustained, and free. Free to be compressed, expanded, moved back, move up through our toes. Let's do the same in our head. So if we think of this connection from the neck to the neck, how it's flowing. Good. Let's get a little bit to our legs. So you can be on the soft legs, you don't have any rules. How there is a sense of flow. It can go different directions. You can exchange the leg, you can feel that it's flowing side, flowing forward. It can float on the floor. You can feel that it's in a floating mode on the floor. So this is still floating because it's light and indirect. Yeah, good. Let's just be careful. Try and punch. So let's say punch in a shoulder. It can be forward, up. It can be, I don't know, side. Might feel it more like an elbow punch. Arms, like side, forward. It can be just, let's say, this is also punch. It's direct, sudden, powerful, and I don't know, the chest, be careful. Boom. If you think of punch through the chest, if you can think of punch in your hip, if you can think of, if you're barefoot, just be careful, like a little step on the floor, or you can think of like jumping into a little seated position, tasso, or you can think, let's say, a Roomba. I'm not really getting hard on the floor, but the way how I'm opening my knee, very direct, sudden, and I wanted to do it then. So this is my pretty, it will be normal to visualize that energy of punch when you go into some press line. And let's see where else we can do it. Let's say our knee, if we do something, chain, so cha cha cha. I can visualize the punch into my back leg. I can visualize the punch into my knee. Let's think of let's say over some movement. If you go split way and return, so how your head turn is like a punch when you turning, or your hip, or let's say doing a split and lifting your arm. So if there will be a target, you will punch right through it. If it would be a target in front of you, you can punch right through it. You can pierce right through. So out, open. So If you think of the target behind you and doing something, it's a little more masculine. Yes, but we're exploring here. Good. Now, let's say we did a little bit of this exploration. Now let's try to do a switch of dynamics in the same body part. So let's say if I will put my arm in front of you, and let's say our arm, yeah, and let's start with floating. So how arm is floating in direct, and then we're ready to change it to a punch. Some powerful actions, and when we're ready to change to a flick, boom, 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 and then back to floating, and then maybe to dabbing, like hitting the keys on the piano or knocking to the door, or doing queen greeting, maybe a little elbow, and doing a little gliding, gliding down, out, forward, back, side, up, down, cutting through space across your body, elbow gliding, down through the pinky gliding. Yes, getting a little bit into squeezing, squeezing the biceps and shoulder, squeezing, ringing through. And what else we have there? Pressing. Yeah, so press and ringing is the only difference, is direct, indirect. So pressing down, pressing ourselves back away from something, pressing up, pressing the elbow down, closing the arm forward, pressing the elbow out, pressing the wrist to open, pressing it to close, pressing it out, and then glide, float, press, punch, flicks. Yes. And so this is your, I don't think we'll have time today, but what we'll do next week is you will be needing to be clear what kind of energy you're sending to your partner. Your partner will receive this energy. He will play through the body and then send it back a punch, or send you back a press, or will send you back a glide, or will send you back a float. And your vocabulary will allow you to receive the float. And then you can do your own journey of doing a flicking, or doing dabbing, or doing punch. Get back to float, and maybe send him back a glide. Or maybe you will be angry at your friend and you will send him a punch. Or you will be so tender about your friend that you'll send him a squeeze. And then your partner will receive a squeeze, go through some floating, go into flicking, punching, then you press. This would be our next lesson, continuation of the subject. So I guess I'm limiting all others to be totally clueless what we'll be doing next Tuesday. But I'll ask Nikolay to include into the newsletters. Whoever is joining on Tuesday next week, please look at the video of the last week class, because you'll need some information from there. Yes, thank you very much. I hope it was as fun as educational, and this should open so many more doors and windows and the roof exercise for your, yes, thank you, Debbie. Thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. I appreciate your attention. I appreciate you opening up with your improvisation, your personalized movements. Okay, let's take a little break and we'll continue with our written section.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome, Wendy. You're very welcome.
It's great. It's good to get out of the comfort zone. It's great.
Yeah. Totally agree. Totally. You did beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah. I know. Yes. You'll have fun doing this exploration. Yeah, like this will be just clarifying the rhythmical combination and it's up to you. You can do your own work. Yes. I hope you have no regrets of.
Oh, no, it's cool, you know,